Welcome back to our NCAA football win total series. We are moving on in the Big Ten, and we are on to Michigan. Now, after Lloyd Carr retired in 2007, 2008 Rich Rod showed up, and things just didn't go as well for Michigan. They were 3-9 in '08, 5-7 in 2009, finally 7-6 and 10 with a Gator Bowl loss. Rich Rod's gone. Brady Hoke shows up. Things are great. 11-2 Sugar Bowl win, and then 8-5, 7-6, 5-7 and 14, and he's gone. Harbaugh shows up. 10 wins in his three of his first 4 years, but he couldn't get over the hump. Then it was 9-4 in 2019, and then 2-4 in 2020, and things were looking bad for Harbaugh. He takes a pay cut. Finally, 2021, beats Ohio State, goes to the playoffs, ends up losing to Georgia. 2022, beats Ohio State, undefeated regular season, conference champs. They lose to TCU in the playoffs. That brings us to last year. Opens up, simple schedule to begin with. East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, Rutgers, all wins. They'd end up going undefeated, beat Penn State on the road by 9, would beat Maryland on the road by only 7, then beat Ohio State 30-24. December 2nd, they play in the Big Ten title game 26-0 over Iowa. Alabama in the Rose Bowl, the college football playoff semifinals, 27-20 overtime win. And then 34-13, a win over Washington. And Michigan were the national champions with Jim Harbaugh, Sharon Moore, Jesse Minter, Jay Harbaugh, and Mike Hart all being the head coach for a little bit in there. Harbaugh is gone. That means Sharon Moore is the head coach now. He moves his new offensive coordinator. Last year's quarterback coach is going to be the new man running the offense this year. When we talk about that offense, big thing they've got to do, they have to replace the quarterback. Luckily, it's the quarterback coach, Kirk Campbell, coming in as the offensive coordinator. J.J. McCarthy is gone. It'll either be Jack Tuttle or Alex Orji. Tuttle's a little bit more experienced. He's a redshirt senior. He started games for other schools in the past. He could be a solid option. Orji's definitely the more athletic one, more mobile. He's not going to be as efficient as McCarthy. But when he was in games last year, he didn't throw a pass, but he's able to run pretty well. And he'll be running with Donovan Edwards. Donovan Edwards has shown flashes of greatness the last 2 years, 4.2 yards per carry. He can catch out of the backfield. They have Khalil Mullings, 6'2", 240 pounds, big bruiser that will be the other back to help replace Blake Corum. At wide receiver, it's Samaj Morgan, caught 22 passes last year. He's pretty good. Frederick Moore and Tyler Morris will be the big deep ball options, but the main receiver is going to be Colston Loveland, maybe the best tight end in the nation, 649 yards, 4 scores, 45 catches last year. Offensive line should be solid. Greg Crippen is going to be a major part at center. Miles Hilton started most of the games last year. He'll probably be the left tackle this year. They bring in some new guys, including Josh Prevey from Northwestern, to help fill in the offensive line. The big thing for Michigan is the defense. The defense is going to be led by Wink Martindale this year. Mason Graham is one of the best players in the nation. He's sitting at defensive tackle. Right beside him, Kenneth Grant at the nose, and then Rayshawn Benny on the other end. This might be the best defensive line in the nation. Going to be very tough to block. At linebacker, Josiah Stewart is going to be one of the playmakers there. 5.5 sacks, 8.5 tackles for a loss last year. Derek Moore on the other side with 5 sacks. They bring in Ernest Hausman from Nebraska, and they also have Maryland transfer Joshua Barham, who's going to take over for Junior Colston in the middle. The secondary is going to be awesome. Will Johnson could be a top 5 pick at corner. Jair Hill and Ricky Johnson will hold the other spots. Mike Sandstrell's gone, but Zeke Berry and Jaden McBurrows will be looking to pick up the slack there. Defense should be great and keep them in a lot of games this year. Not quite the cupcake schedule that they had last year as we look at the schedule this year when they start off. But they start off August 31st at home, Fresno State. That will be a win. September 7th, they host Arch Manning, Quinn Ewers, and Texas. I lean win in that one. I think the difference is going to be that defensive line. September 14th, Arkansas State. That will be a win. September 21st, USC at home. I lean win. September 28th, the battle for the Little Brown Jug against Minnesota at home. I'm going to give them the win there. October 5th is their first road trip. They're at Washington. Washington doesn't have the offensive line to block them. They get the win. October 12th, they have a bye. And then October 19th, they're at Illinois. They get the win there. October 26th, it's Michigan State. I think they get another win there. November 2nd, Oregon. That one I have in the toss-up category. If the Michigan offense is actually working at that point, I think Michigan wins it. But I'm going to assume a loss and give them their first loss of the year, November 2nd. November 9th, they're at Indiana. I think they get the win there. November 16th is a bye. November 23rd, Northwestern. And then November 30th, they visit the Horseshoe, Ohio State. I really think if the Ohio State line's struggling, that their quarterback is not going to be able to do enough and Michigan can get another win. But for right now, we're going to lean loss in that one. Over-under is set everywhere, sitting at 8.5, and the over favored. I have this as a 10-2 team. I look at Texas, USC, Oregon, and at Ohio State as the big four games. I think they're going to at least get 2 of them. That's going to put them at 10. I think they could get 3. The ceiling for this team is really 12 wins. I think the floor, though, honestly, could be 6. I like 10-2, so we're going to take the over 9. It's sitting at DraftKings right now, it's sitting at Bet Rivers, one of the comedy books, at plus 132, and that's going to be our pick. Over 9 plus 132. If you like this content, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends, and go blue.